Hi, I'm Adam Neeson.
Hi, I'm Jim McLean.
And welcome to another episode of The NI Scene.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Not even supposed to be here today.
I'm just a fucked up girl who's looking for my own peace of mind.
Welcome to the party, pal.
I'll be back.
I'll have what she's having.
I'm gonna make him an offer again.
Here's looking at you, kid.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
All right, Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up.
Hello. Yes, as Adam said, welcome to another episode of the NI Scene. I'm Jim McLean, as always, joined by the lovely Adam Neeson. Adam, how you been? We're back in the studio.
Mate, we get to touch each other.
And I'm really jealous, listeners, because Adam has a jacket from Primark. What are we going with?
It's pre.
You have a Stranger Things jacket that I really want. And as a bigger boy, you go up and you go, have you got any of the Hellfire Club jackets? And they're like, yeah, but you've only got them in small. Like, little Teddykins could just about fit into that. Teddykins is my little dog. It's not what I call my penis, by the way. But you have one. Because earlier in the week we were recording a TV show. As I take my jacket off, because this jacket's just not that jacket.
He's about to steal my jacket.
Yeah. See if Adam notices it before the end of the recording. But, you told me you literally went down the day these were out.
Yeah, seen on
Ticker Talker,
the Stranger Things stuff, and I showed the missus, and she was like, "Oh, you really want that?" And I went, "No." 24 hours later, on a bus wearing it on the way home.
Because as I say, I've got my little Hellfire Club T-shirt I picked up from Primark, and I've got the red one as well. Yeah.
If the funny thing is, don't really like Stranger Things that much. I just find
You just really like Joseph Quinn.
not even. I just love Steve. It's one of those things.
Everyone loves Steve.
For Halloween, we dressed up as the Scoops Ahoy, Robin and Steve a few years ago, and I just want to put my penis inside him. Is that subtle enough? I think he's gorgeous.
Hey, Steve, if you're listening.
Here, I know you do. I don't know if some people pronounce it the Joe. It's Joe.
Yeah.
He's just a beautiful singer, beautiful man. He could do no wrong apart from Free Guy.
Yeah.
He wasn't bad on Free Guy.
No, he wasn't.
Free Guy's just a bad film.
I do love Steve. I think of all the characters that have had the journey, and I do still to this day. I know we had a podcast a while ago. We were talking about Stranger Things. It might have been season 3, and I think it's in season 3. There's that episode with him and Maya Hawke's character, and she comes out and says, "I'm gay." And I remember it's one time I've been like, I know Brian Mulholland, the lovely Brian Mulholland, talks about shouting at the cinema when one of the Mission Impossible films where Tom Cruise fell or Ethan Hunt fell, and Brian was like, "Watch out, Tom!" And you just kind of go that. It's the one time where I was sitting at home going, and I remember myself kind of go, "Please don't be a dick, Steve. Don't be a dick." And he wasn't, and it's just like, oh, you're actually went from being the guy who was a cock in the first season to just like, all right, okay, I kind of love you. And all I'm going to say is, as we approach the finale, which I believe will conclude on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
If anything happens to Steve, we riot.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where it's like, if Steve lives, I'm sort of like, yeah, that'll be a good show. If they kill him in the last episode, I'm just like, fuck Stranger Things. Jacket in the bin. And then Jim fucking scurrying through the bin. I still like it.
Yeah, so we've got that to look forward to.
Will we do a Stranger Things wrap-up episode in the new year?
Yeah, because we'll do that along with our Peacemaker episode. Yep. We'll do that with our Alien Earth episode.
Look forward to that. April 2026.
Welcome to Derry. I have I have episode 4 to watch. I know they've released the trailer, and here, Adam, you'll never guess what?
What's happening?
Pennywise is in it.
Your bollocks.
I know, told you. Because we were talking about this previously. People were getting very annoyed. Why is Pennywise not in it? Why is all these other monsters that aren't in it? It's like, well, as you said, that is Pennywise. He can take various guises. He's like the actor that's not Mike Myers in Wayne's World.
Inglourious Bastards.
He's not a master. He is a master of disguise.
Oh, you're talking about
the film Master of Disguise.
Yeah, starring your other man from Wayne's World.
Yeah, message in if you're listening.
What's his name?
Garth.
Party on, Wayne.
Did you don't mention the pubes? Oh, I love Wizard, but yeah, I've enjoyed Welcome to It's still that kind of like Muschietti. You always laugh when I say his name.
Andy Muschietti.
Andy Muschietti. I'm always kind of on the fence with his kind of brand of horror. But yeah, I've enjoyed it for what it is. As I say, I haven't seen episode 4, but I know there's been the trailer for the next 4 episodes, and they've kind of held Pennywise back, but I think the next 4, by the looks of it, is going to go very much Pennywise centric.
Well, I suppose it's like you technically have another 2 seasons of this.
Yeah.
How much of Pennywise do you want to show, and how much do you want to pay Bill Skarsgård?
That's true, but hey, if it gets the ratings on HBO Max or whatever it is, I guess, that's why they pay that guy the top dollar. That seems to be my go-to phrase at the minute for a lot of things.
Because your inspirational life is Honey G.
Yeah. More on that possibly on our Christmas special on NVTV. Let's move on to our movies of choice for this week's episode. And I thought we would kick things off. What would you like, Adam? Would you like to go back to the 80s, or do you want to start with Edgar Wright?
I gotta go back in time.
It's your kids, Marty.
Let's talk about Back to the Future. Back in time. Which one's your favorite?
Back to the Future? Back to the Future. I always love 2, but I have a real soft spot for 3.
Same, man.
I have a real soft spot for 3 because it's the first of them that I saw in the cinema. But I think I've told this story before, because that's what I do. I just tell the same stories over and over again. Actually, hey, shock horror listeners, I actually have moved up a step, right? Because I suddenly realized I can start telling these same stories that I tell in this podcast. I can start telling them on the radio. So guess what story? I was managed to segue into a story about discovering treasure. I managed to bring up the fact that many, many years ago, I went to see Ghostbusters 2.
Oh, was it when you shit yourself in the cinema?
Yeah, I lost all my Ecto-1. Then many years later, I found an Ecto-1 at a charity shop, and I was like, it was a nice, happy story. But yeah, same like that. So on the basis of me going to see Ghostbusters 2, shitting oneself, my mum would not let me go see Gremlins 2 in the cinema, and I threw a whole temper tantrum. And there was only like 21. Threw a temper tantrum at Oma Cinema because I wanted to go see Back to the Future. I didn't want to go see Gremlins 2. My mum was like, let's go see Back to the Future Part 3. That's a safe bet. And I love Back to the Future Part 3, but I still remember like loving it and having my arms folded. Like, mum was like, isn't this better than Gremlins 2? So,
I love if your mum was like, but Jim, it's a whole new batch. Is your favourite bit the same favourite bit for Back to the Future 3 and me whenever Doc Brown gets his hat shot off and he doesn't know about it, but Christopher Lloyd's acting and he just goes, oh! That's my favourite bits.
I just like the callbacks to Manure.
Yeah.
And then it's 2 that Michael J. Fox plays his weirdly attracted daughter.
Yeah.
And it's only like, I'm not lying here. It was only like maybe in the last 10 years that I realized that was like, I was like, oh my God. As a young Jim was like, oh my God, she's beautiful.
Let me rehydrate your pizza.
And yeah, I don't know why, but I'm trying to think of my favorite. I can't like, because doesn't he plays like another version of himself when he goes back in time and then he encounters the engines. And then they damage the DeLorean. Doesn't he meet with another guy who's...
He meets his grandfather.
He meets his grandfather.
Who's from Dublin, Ireland.
Yeah.
Hello. And for some reason, his grandmother looks like his mother, even though it would be on his grandfather's side. Isn't that strange?
Yes, this is very, very true. But hey, as long as Crispin Glover is not coming back, that's the main thing. But yes, so I think we'll... Hey, Adam, we'll do Back to the Future special.
In December, man.
Do that in December. But I think you've made it clear. Let's go back to the 80s. So let's play a clip of the original 1987 Running Man.
Say the word, Ben, and you can be the one doing the stalking. What do you think?
You cold-blooded bastard. I'll tell you what I think of it. I live to see you eat that contract. But I hope you leave enough room for my fist, because I'm going to ram it into your stomach and break your goddamn spine! Ah!
So that's a clip of The Running Man, everyone's favourite everyman, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Ben Richards is out for justice.
So your Arnold Schwarzenegger impression?
I'm a cop, you idiot.
Yeah.
Stop whining.
Get to the chopper.
I'll be back.
Do your Jesse Ventura.
Oh, yeah.
That's more Macho Man Randy Savage.
It's a false flag operation. That's why Jesse Ventura. False flag operation.
Yeah, okay. So this was the original 87. So I guess a bit of a setup for The Running Man. So a very early Stephen King short story he wrote very early in his career. I think he might have been in college, around the same time, written as the Long Walk, The Last Walk. I told you I would get that film mixed up. Wrote under a pseudonym, then later released under his name, Stephen King.
Richard Bachman.
And there's a reference I know to in the new Running Man. There's a Bachman reference in there for that, but we're not talking about it. We're in the 80s. So this is very much off its time, an Arnold Schwarzenegger classic action movie that is I still find it a bit of fun. I watched it not so long ago. I think it's when I saw the trailer in the cinema for the first time for The Running Man. My lovely wife had never seen it. And then we put it on. I was like, oh, does that mean we get to watch Arnie in sexy yellow spandex? Whoa, and yeah, I have a lot of love for the film. I'm wondering, because I know when we had Hamish and yourself on the TV show, I don't think Hamish was too much of a fan of the original. And maybe it's a sense of like, yeah, you didn't watch it when you were like 10.
Yeah.
When there was boobies and all in it and stuff, and you didn't realize you wanted to watch it, and you didn't love Jesse Ventura as the hunter that had to come out of retirement and all. What was he? It wasn't Captain America. What was he? Not Captain Insano.
Captain Underpants.
Yeah, that's exactly who he was.
Did you also really enjoy an original Charlie's Ma from Toy Sunny?
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yes, indeed. I actually love, because the new episodes I think they're up on Netflix now. And yeah, I think it's the final episode, just a tribute to her. Yeah, it was lovely. So yeah, it's Paul Michael Glaser is directing here. And yeah, it's a weird film. I'm just looking here if I can get the guy's name up. Where is Jesse Ventura? I'm sure I thought Jesse Ventura would have been much further up in this film's. He doesn't even reach
Captain Fandom.
Oh, there he is. Yeah, Captain Freedom.
Captain Freedom. Keep every fandom.
Captain Freedom. So yeah, Ben Richards, Arnold Schwarzenegger, everyone's favorite everyman. Woo-woo-wee-wah, what a man. And yeah, we have Maria Conchita Alonso.
Such
a crush on her when I was younger.
From this?
Yeah.
She was Miss Venezuela.
And you can see why.
Who was it? Also, welcome back to the Rambles with Adam and Jim.
Yeah.
Who was it that Bruce Forsyth married?
Kelly Brook. There's an advert. There is an advert where they're living together, so I imagine they did get married. And Kelly Brook is now in the jungle. And a weird tangent upon tangent, Kelly Brook actually loves me.
What do you mean?
So Kelly Brook, many, many years ago, we were talking about this in the car and we're coming over, back when old Jim McLean did bother his arse to write reviews, I wrote a review for a film she was in. And they have used a quote. It's one and only time. Actually, no, I tell a lie. I was quoted on another poster for, I think, Bump Along the Way. I think I was quoted on as well, but I was quoted on the poster, I think it was, or maybe on the DVD release. I said that Kelly Brook had a Marilyn Monroe-esque charm in the role. And yeah, she loved me for that reference. So Kelly, if you're listening in the jungle, what's happening?
And you haven't said the movie. And if you say the Keith Lemon movie.
No, it's not the Keith Lemon movie. It was one set in London. I forget the name of the film. And I'm not taking IMDb breaks out for that. But yes.
Sorry, Bruce Forsyth was married to Miss World. That's where I was getting mistaken.
There we go. How dare you? So, yes. Are you a fan of the original?
Yes. It's one of those ones, like I said on the TV show, it's sort of in that same wheelhouse of movies my dad showed me when I was far too young. Now, I can't say I love it. Like, it's not one of those go-to, like, I have to watch that every fucking few years because it's so good. But it's definitely one that stuck with me in the sense of when I was young, and when they go in the tube, and it's like the lights going.
Yeah.
I always remember that, and I was like,
What about the girls dancing around on the stage?
I think I was more impressed with big beefy Arnie, to be fair to you, like back then. I just thought it was a cool idea because I'd never really like the running man is such a simple thing. You guys got to keep running.
Yeah.
Don't get caught and you win the money. And the sort of like,
Well, this is the thing, and I know I'm jumping in on you. I think this is the thing where I think the original, it takes, so if I'm correct, I have not read the source material, but the Edgar Wright version is much closer to that in that sense that anybody can be involved. And here it's much more like a condensed TV show. They're in a TV show arena and all that's kind of going on. And I don't know if it's like the 30 days thing that's in the Edgar Wright one, where I think it works because this is an hour and 40 minutes, and it's just a punchy, basically you're putting kind of like a Hunger Games-esque situation. But when you look back at it, and I know like even all the stuff for the 80s, and I don't think that's in the King book, all the stuff with deep fakes and stuff, it's in there. I mean, there's it's a film from the 80s. Apologies, kids, if we're spoiling it for you. But there's a sequence where they fake Ben Richards' death. And I know that kind of comes up again in the new version as well. We'll talk about that maybe when a bit more if you want to walk around lightly around it. But all the kind of deep fake stuff, it's all there in the 80s version originally. I just think it's punchier in what it wants to do in the sense that it's like that kind of Hunger Games-esque arena as opposed to what we get in the new version where it's like you're just out in the real world and people are hunting you as they go.
Yeah, and it's sort of...
And there's a guy called Dynamo who does opera.
And shake magic tricks.
Yeah, and Buzzsaw. Who definitely looked like someone who... I would love to know if he had a neck.
Well, you
think he did steroids?
I think. It's one of those movies that's sort of like in my head, I think I've made it better than it is back in the day.
Yeah.
In the sense of like the apocalyptic dystopian future, I've sort of blended it in with RoboCop and that sort of like satire. Where,
yeah, because I had thought there was more of those ads.
Yeah.
And I think there is a few, but it's not like the Paul Verhoeven RoboCop.
No, but in my head I was like, oh, it's full of that. But it's not.
No.
I don't know.
It does have Mick Fleetwood, though.
Were you free, Mick? Mick was just trying to fuck everybody on the cast. He's like, hey, this is what we do. Don't know why he's from New Jersey. No, I just want to sing a Mick Fleetwood song in a Jersey accent.
Here we go. Get it out of your system.
Fleetwood Mac song.
That's not Stevie Nicks singing.
Oh, fuck, God knows. I don't know.
Shane?
You want to break the chain. I don't know what that is. Don't keep us in. Shit.
Of course, it has been kept in. It's you being shit. You know the rules. Right, okay. Yeah, Mick Fleetwood's in there. We have Jim Brown, isn't he? Fireball? He's like one of the first ones. Because I think I love that kind of campy charm about it. In the sense that these guys are like the gladiators. Like what we got with like Wolf and like, you know, we've kind of shit gladiators now that are back in Bradley Walsh and his little mini-me. That's the host then. But there's that kind of charm to it, but like I know I'm trying not to and comparing the two as we go, but it's the sense that you can see why people would root for them because they are kind of, because I think there's like scenes, isn't it? In the first one, the original, there's like a granny and he's like, you have, what's him? I'm going to not lie. I'm going to have to put it in front of me here. You have, it's Richard Dawson as the host. Is it Killian? He is, yeah, he's the host, and he's like going out to the crowd. He's like Graham Norton. There's this wee granny. It's like, what's your favorite? It's like, Buzzsaw. I love Buzzsaw. And like, here, I have a game, the Running Man board game, and kind of stuff. And yeah, I get that because you get there's character to them, but you don't get that really in this new version.
No,
I have to admit. Joe, I'll keep it for when we're talking specifically about the Edgar Wright. Anyway, so yeah, it is of its time. I think watching it now in 2025, when the film's set, when the book was originally set, of course the film's out now, this new version is out in 2025, you go, King, looking at the idea, there's something like, you just realise Stephen King, what an amazing writer he is in that. And I know it's kind of like shock horror. You know, if you're going to stick anything from this podcast on the quote, Stephen King's not a bad author.
You can tell you aren't.
But it's that sense of like the amount of stuff that this is going back. When would this be, like the 70s? He would have been writing this and kind of looking at kind of, it's how much of that world in the 70s and that kind of a disdain for politics in America and corruption there. It's like, hey, everything's kind of coming full circle again. We had the kind of Obama optimism, the Bill Clinton optimism year. We're not going to mention anything about Donald and Bill. Bubba. But it just we're back to that kind of like, oh, isn't politics just shit and murky, and the medias are horrible. Media is horrible and corrupt, and big corporations. And you're like, yeah, all that's in there in this version. It's just that it's also an Arnold Schwarzenegger vehicle for him to say one-liners.
Mm-hmm. It's a film powered by the Coke Corporation.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And Coke.
Wow, and cocaine. Well,
and steroids.
Stephen King was involved, so of course there's cocaine.
I love, anytime I think of Stephen King, what's the film he directed?
Maximum Overdrive.
Maximum Overdrive. And just look at the trailer.
Oh, I'm going to scare the hell out of you.
Yeah, it's like, come on, Stephen. Could you not have not done coke that one morning?
It is funny, Maximum Overdrive. He's like, I need a girl who has the perfect scream. Give me Lisa Simpson.
Yeah. I think in December we should talk about Maximum Overdrive.
The 17th of December, Maximum Overdrive episode drops.
Yeah. There we go. We didn't say what year. Important.
No.
Well done. Yes. I think actually, do you know what? Let's just play a little clip
of Maximum Overdrive.
Of that. No, not of the. Let's just listen to Stephen King in full. Stephen King. I'm not doing coke.
Hi. My name is Stephen King. I've written several motion pictures, but I want to tell you about a movie called Maximum Overdrive, which is the first one I've directed. Wow.
What in the dickens is going on around here?
A lot of people have directed Stephen King novels and stories. And I finally decided if you want something done right, you ought to do it yourself.
Who was driving it?
I don't know.
Curtis! It's coming after us!
It was my first picture as a director, and you know something? I sort of enjoyed it.
What is going on?
I don't know!
I just wanted someone to do Stephen King right.
You want a war? You got one.
I just want to get the hell out of here.
So come and spend some time with me and my friends at the Dixie Boy. Spend some time in the dark.
Please don't let us be in the dark.
Help me.
I'm gonna scare the hell out of you. And that's a promise.
Adam, you tell me that man's not on coke.
You look at those eyes, you look at those teeth, you look at the wobble in his hand, and he's like, I'm going to scare the hell out of you.
But Stephen, we love you. We say it with love.
Yeah, and also nobody can pull off standing in front of a big green goblin truck like you can.
No. Adam, it's an audio medium. What did you just do there?
I just pointed to my It tattoo on my arm because I love King so much.
But I've dabbled. I mean, I struggled. I remember trying to read the book of It, and it's a big book.
Yeah.
And then struggling my way through that, and then be like, "Do you know what would be fun? Let's read The Stand."
Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh, okay. I do prefer the King short stories. So, I mean, I know some of the ones are not kind of big beastie books, but some of his big lauded works, they are long. Like, The Stand is amazing, and hey, the TV show is its own thing. But I've struggled. I mean, probably the books I love is probably The Shining or Doctor Sleep. I adore. I actually kind of really like Later King. That's been kind of how I've got into him. I've got into watching his movies from when I was younger. And some of them I've been tempted to read, like the likes of Christine. I probably prefer the book to the film as much as I love John Carpenter. I think John Carpenter made some right decisions, made some wrong decisions in that. But yeah, I think it's been the more recent stuff. But I always come back to it's the short stories. I love, like, even like, isn't Shawshank a short story? Doesn't Stephen King have, is it like his $1 Babies or something like that? Where it's
not anymore.
No, has he stopped doing that?
He stopped doing it. It used to be that you could pay $1 to have the rights to a short story of his that wasn't like one of the more popular ones. It was just like a random one, but it was like, oh, I've made a Stephen King short.
Yeah.
And then you could send them to film festivals, but they couldn't be shown publicly. Which,
and I think that's how Shawshank Redemption started. Isn't that how the kind of relationship began there? They wanted, who's the director of that?
Frank Darabont.
Frank Darabont, I think, approached King and said that he wanted to do a film based on Shawshank, and then they were like, we think we can make a film. Yeah, but look, we're not talking about that. We're talking about The Running Man. So yes,
go read Joe McElroy's fantastic King's Corner on the Fright Club if you want all of your Stephen King goodness.
Yes, so The Running Man, Adam. So yeah, don't have much more to say about the 80s version. It's fun. It is what it is. It's an hour and 40 minutes. It's not going to test your bladder too much.
It's a lesser Arnie, but it's still an Arnie all the same.
Is Arnie at kind of like, what did you say? It's peak Arnie at kind of like the peak? Because this is kind of pre-T2.
Yeah, I say so. This is like just before the catchphrases get a bit too much. I think peak Arnie is T2 True Lies, and it's sort of after that you're getting your Jingle All the Way, your Erasure, even though I love Erasure. What else did he do? Kindergarten Cop, before he goes down that line of movies that's sort of like, oh, Arnie, you've lost
it. Do comedy.
Yeah.
The goggles, they do nothing. But looking here, like, I'm just looking at the directors, IMDb, Paul Michael Glaser. Not anything of, like, there's kind of some, like, he's an actor. You know, he's Starsky from Starsky and Hutch. Yeah.
Bollocks.
He's Detective Starsky Hutch. I'm looking at here, I mean, there's nothing that stands out for me as I glance down here. I'll be honest with you. I mean, you've kind of got The Running Man is in there. Kazam is in there.
Then what's that?
Kazam.
Is that the one about the genie?
That's one of the genie with everyone's favorite actor, Shaquille O'Neal.
You mean
Shack Attack?
Sinbad?
Yes. Yes, Shaquille O'Neal is in there. It's I have seen Kazam. Yeah, it's not a very good film.
No, well, Shaquille O'Neal in a film, and it's bad.
Yeah, shock horror.
So
I think that's enough of the 80s. I think we're going to jump back in the DeLorean, Adam, and let's get to 88 miles per hour. More importantly, let's get to 2025 and talk about Edgar Wright's adaptation of the film.
Ben Richards, 35, married, one child. In medical crisis.
We need money for a doctor now.
Ben, watch yourself.
Employment status, blacklisted. But there's still a way out for you. It's the biggest show in the country.
Bloodlust is our birthright! Set it free! Welcome to The Running Man!
People on these games never come back.
I'm not trying to get myself killed, so kiss my ass twice.
Right there is why you can win this game. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days with the entire nation hunting you down. And get your family out of Slumside for good.
So that's clip of the latest adaptation of The Running Man. Now we have Glen Powell. Much more the everyman that I think King envisioned with Ben Richards. But he's still, what a man. And he's still got those abs, but he's blacklisted. He's out to earn some money for his family. Because I think in the first one, it's very different Ben Richards. First, is it Ben Richards or am I thinking of Fantastic Four?
No, it is Ben Richards.
Yes, it is Ben Richards. So in that version, he's like someone that's been wrongfully put in prison. and he's out to avenge his name. But here he's like, oh, I'm a family guy. I've got a daughter that's not very well. I need to make money quickly. I'm going to go and do a different TV show. I don't want to do The Running Man because no one survives that. But he's persuaded by Damien Killian, the sleazeball that is Josh Brolin, because he's like, you would be perfect because I have not seen as much anger on screen, Adam, since Mr. Furious with Ben Stiller. He's someone he's got a lot of anger. He's got a lot of rage. And Josh Brolin's character's like, we can use this. I can exploit you for TV. I want you to do The Running Man.
Well, first off, he's like, I think you should be on The Chase. And he's like,
what about Tipping Point?
Tenable with wee Warwick Davis.
Wee Warwick.
And they're like, is he going to kick him to death? Oh no. Kill him on The Running Man instead. Sorry, I just want to point out here that Paul Michael Glaser directed a lot of TV shows, including Starsky and Hutch.
Yeah.
But also directed that fucking dog shit TV show Las Vegas.
Okay, so what you're saying is that we're not a fan of him as a director.
Nah, not a winner, man.
Okay, so now we have Edgar Wright. And I know in the next episode, we're going to be talking and looking back at Edgar Wright's back catalogue. But yeah, we have, again, this is something I think Stephen King's much more on board with. This is more kind of his vision. And
do you know why, mate? Money.
Yes. Money helps. Money helps a lot of things. We all know that the likes of James Cameron will get behind things. It's like, money, money, money. I need money for Avatar 7. It's like, I'm going to love this Terminator movie. But yeah, he seems to be more on board with this. It seems more in that way, like with Total Recall. Like I know that's not a King book.
Oh, Colin Farrell.
Yes, Colin Farrell. But when you think, wasn't it Bill Pullman, I think, was going to play the original Total Recall, the original actor lead in that, and then they're like, no, we're just going to retool that as everyone's favorite of every man, as I keep coming back to that joke, Arnold Schwarzenegger. And then you get Colin Farrell, which, I mean, the newer version, again, I just love the original Total Recall because it's that 80s thing.
I'd love to see Lost Highway with Schwarzenegger instead of Bill Pullman.
Or Twin Peaks.
Oh, with Arnie?
Yeah.
There's a fish in the percolator. That's one damn fine cup of coffee.
Yes, it works.
A girl, she's wrapped in plastic. Oh no. Laura Palmer. Laura Palmer is a perfect Arnold name. Laura Palmer. Oh no.
Oh, I just going to lose myself now. So,
welcome back, man.
Yeah. So now there's a new version. Edgar Wright taking this project. Apparently he's wanted to work on this for quite some time. And he's working on, I think what's the producer? He directed one of the earlier X-Men. Is it Simon Kinberg?
Yes.
Yeah, one of the producers got him on board and he's involved. So he's involved with the screenplay as well, adaptation of that. We have an impressive ensemble here. We've got a lot of names. So we've got the likes of Glen Powell, as we say.
Chad Powers himself.
We've got the lovely Glen. We also have some noticeable. We've got the likes of Sean Hayes. Everyone loves him from Will and Grace.
Mm-hmm.
We have Michael Cera in a small role. I'm trying to look through at the cast. We have Arnie. We should say, I think I alluded to this, and I know it's a bit of it's like just really a nod. Arnie features on the notes.
He's on a pine note.
And I was like, oh, that's a nice little touch to bring him back. That's kind of Edgar Wright being Edgar Wright. Edgar Wright. We do have fucking hell. We have Josh Brolin. We have Josh Brolin, as we mentioned as well. And then because I can't remember the name of the actress.
Kitty O'Brien.
Yes, because she pops up. And then we also have
Colin Domingo. I do love him.
I'm trying to think. It's the name of the actress near the actress near the end that kind of pops up. She's in Coda.
Yes. Patricia Arquette. Do you know what, Jim? Tell me this. Would you not have preferred? It's an Edgar Wright project, right? Would you not have preferred, instead of all these flashy Hollywood names, Lee Pace, blah, blah, blah. So, no, not Simon Pegg. Michael Frost. Michael Smiley.
Yeah. Yeah, you mean, Michael Smiley could have played that role of Killian.
Yeah.
He could have played. So it's very much, it's a big blockbuster. Edgar Wright, I mean, this is following up from Last Night in Soho, following up from Baby Driver. This is him moving away from the Cornetto trilogy. And I know we're going to be talking about that in the next week's episode. We're going to be talking about Edgar Wright specifically. But I went in with this going as someone who loves Edgar Wright's films, loves Edgar Wright work on TV. I mean, I adore Space. Space was one of those ones that's like, oh, wow, I'm watching something and I get that reference. I can't remember why or when. Started watching it. I'm nearly certain it was the Resident Evil, the zombie episode. Is like, oh, wow, I fucking love this. And then I always say, like, the clubbing episode of Space is perfect. And that was even before I even went clubbing. And this is like, it's like, oh, later in life, it's like, oh, it's fucking true. You spend most of your night waiting for the cloakroom. But yeah, I love Spaced. And it's that sense, it's like, I would love for it to come back. But I don't. I don't want it to come back.
It's a perfect 2 series.
Yeah.
It can't be touched.
It's like, the first series is good and the second series is stupendous.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, we'll talk about this more in the next episode.
All right, Brian.
I went in with maybe a little bit too expectation because someone, as I've already said, I love the original because I just grew up with it. It's like Ghostbusters. It's like Total Recall, as I mentioned. It's those films that I watched probably when I felt I shouldn't have been watching them. And I have a bit of nostalgia, but I'm like, yeah, I think you could in 2025, could you deliver a version of The Running Man that is more than an Arnie film? Yes, of course you could in the upbeat world that we live in right now. And I don't know. It's 2 hours 20. Technically, all the things I love about score, all the things, editing, everything that you know technically that Edgar Wright's going to deliver, I just didn't like it. And I don't know why. And the reason I know we're spoiling the TV show, because we were talking about Fantastic Four, and you said you watched it the first time in the cinema, and you were like, that's fine. When you watched it the second time, expectation was away. It's like you enjoyed it much more. I do think that's going to be something for me. Maybe in a couple of years, I'm going to be able to sit down and rewatch this. But there's not enough fun. And there's not enough fun, which you kind of associate with Edgar Wright. And for me, there's just not enough Michael Cera.
Yeah. It's like, give me the amount of Michael Cera that we had in the Phoenician Scheme.
Yeah.
To me, Edgar Wright's films, because I talked about this in the TV show.
William H. Macy, that was another actor.
Oh, yes, William H. Macy, fantastic. Wild Hogs, of course. His movies after their Cornetto trilogy lost a lot of personality because he stopped writing with Simon Pegg.
Yeah.
And to me, a lot of Wright's stuff, especially when he works with the writer Michael Bacall, who he worked with on Scott Pilgrim and on this, a lot of stuff feels over rehearsed. Like, there's nothing spontaneous about the way anybody acts or the way any stunt sort of comes off, or it's all.
Hey, but come on, that sequence with with Glen Powell out trying to climb down a building, the outside of a building, and nothing but a towel.
But imagine he was like climbing down a load of towels, and he was like, I can't use my hands because of jam on them, and he has to put his cheeks in between the towels, Jim, right?
Yeah.
Look at me while I talk to you.
Yeah.
And his cheeks are wrapped around the towel, and he has to like slide down. And he's like, oh, because he's getting like rope burn on his arsehole.
I know there's many a man and many a woman would be like, I'll cool it down.
I mean, do like your hey, cool it down stew.
And I'm a perfectly married heterosexual man, but like Glenn, it's like that scene from Twisters, but on steroids. Because then there's a scene where he whips the towel off, get back in, and you just see a wee hint of cheeks. And I'm just like, I wonder what the R-Spurt would have think of this. I think it's only right that we get a little voice note from our very own R-Spurt here at Banterflix, the lovely Joe McElroy.
Hello, fellas. So I'm here to tell you a bit about what I thought about the I'll Running Man, the Edgar Wright version that just came out. So I went to see this in 4DX, a bit like Glen Powell's last film, Twisters. I've seen it in 4DX as well. And I tell you what, in that format, it's a lot of fun. And there was a fella that was sitting beside me who clearly had never been to a 4DX film in his life. And he was fighting for his life throughout the film. He was just constantly shouting Jesus Christ and nearly crying anytime there was an explosion or a bit of, action going on. But I had a lot of fun with it in that regard. We all know I love a bit of Stephen King and Stephen King adaptations. So for me, this one is quite good. It's quite good. It's a lot more close to the source material compared to the Arnie version of the 80s. I think that it embodies the anger of that novella a lot more than the original version did. I think Edgar Wright gets that sort of spot on, but he still kind of retains that sort of streak of humor that you find in all his films. But the thing I found this time was it kind of lacks a bit of that kinetic energy that we're used to seeing from it. Seems like a bit more of a sort of a studio version of Edgar Wright, if that makes sense. You know, after watching something like Hot Fuzz, you think, oh, he's suited to this kind of material, no problem. And he is to an extent, but he doesn't go full in on it. But my main problem from it actually stemmed from the third act. It does follow a bit closely to a point, but the third act feels very, very rushed, and it's a case of, I think I've painted myself in a corner, so here's this quick 5 minutes to sort everything out, done, dusted. Having said that, Glen Powell's quite good in it. He does have that sort of lead man energy to it, and as the artspurt of Banterflix, I have to say he has a lovely bottom, and he spanks himself in his tighty whities. But that's something for you to observe in your own time when you go to see it. And yes, the seats did shake when he did not in 40X, and so did I. Aside from him, sporting cast, the one that stands out for me was, apart from Josh Brolin's crazy dentures, was Coleman Domingo as the host of the show. Bobby T, I think his name was. He was quite good, full of energy, kept it going, a lot of zip and pizzazz. But apart from that, you know, it's a solid little bit of dystopian sci-fi action, but it's not much more than that. And I was kind of expecting more from someone of Edgar Wright's caliber. You know, all in all, I think it's a good solid 3 out of 5. You know, if you have a few drinks and you decide to just go see it in 40X, you'll have fun with it. But I wouldn't at the same time be rushing out to see it. For fans of Glen Powell and his art, you know, it's a must see. But beyond that, the casual cinema goer, it's just all right. And for a year full of Stephen King adaptations, you know, we've had Life of Chuck, we've had what was that other one? Oh, The Long Walk, which was excellent as well. This one sort of sits just beneath those two, and you know, it's just all right. So 3 out of 5. Lovely arches on the show. Go see it if that tickles your fancy.
So that's a lovely Joe McElroy with his thoughts on Glen Powell's arse in The Running Man. And just on that note, while I was listening to Joe, it's Amelia Jones who plays the kind of like elitist kind of uptight kind of girl near the end that Glen Powell kind of lumbered with, because it does feel, I don't know if you felt like this, Adam. It's the first of Edgar Wright films, and it's the first film in a while I've been like, this could work as a TV show, because it's kind of broken down into, here's the section with Michael Cera, here's the section with Emilia Clarke, here's a bit with William H. Macy, then there's the section where there's the young kid and his older brother. It's like, there's the hotel sequence. And you're like, I know that's just like you're moving from set piece to set piece to set piece. But it's like, you could do this as a TV show. And I always hate myself when I kind of feel it like that, because like going, would this work better? Would I enjoy this more, in the sense I could maybe watch 45 minutes chunks and then come back to it? Because I think at 2 hours 20, I do think this is a slog.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely by the end, it feels like...
I wonder if is this Edgar Wright's longest film? I just don't know. I don't want to say yes or no. I guess by the next time when we do our next show, we'll have this kind of rehearsed more. We'll have a think about it. But I think it definitely felt like Edgar Wright's longest film. Whether it actually is or not, I don't know.
I would say maybe Last Night in Soho might be longer, or not longer, around the same time. But that film also, by the end, feels like it's dragging on. And I think it's one of those things that Edgar Wright doesn't quite know how to end movies sometimes. even with like the Cornetto trilogy.
Nope, I'm just going to clarify there. This is his longest film to date.
It is. Even the Cornetto trilogy, to me, sometimes, like, the end of Hot Fuzz is perfect until
the little bit at the end.
The little bit at the end where the police station blows up.
Yeah.
And then, like, they, like, drive off and the fucking, Here Comes the Fuzz song plays. And it's like, you had a perfect ending already. Why did you add in more? And it's like, he's had that from time to time to time. A lot of people don't like the World's End ending. He changed the ending of Scott Pilgrim from the book. I don't know. Is it like he is?
But hey, it was his idea for the ending, the original ending for Ant-Man on the sequence, the fight sequence on the Thomas the Tank.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, guess we'll talk about that more in the next episode. But yes.
Yeah, that's because they were actually just going to do Hot Wheels, and he was like, "No, get Thomas in. He'll know how to do it."
Thomas knows. Thomas, the kids love Thomas the Tank. But yeah, so I've kind of rambled on there. I'm disappointed by this. I feel like I need to give it another chance to watch it. Maybe it's everything. So maybe I just went in. I'd been on an early shift that morning. I knew I was seeing it for the TV show. It was the only chance I could get. It was in the 8 o'clock. It was a 2-hour, 20-minute film. So I'm like, oh, with ads and stuff, I'm not going to be getting home to about 11 o'clock. And I could feel myself from about post Michael Cera. I was like, I may just kind of check how long's left. Oh, this is not the finale. And then we have the Emilia Jones's character kind of pops up. And you're like, oh, there's a lot of stuff in there. Again, you're like, oh, then there's a whole sequence on the stealth, on the big kind of luxury jet. And there's a reference back to like an earlier quiz show question. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. And then.
Can I ask a question, right?
Yeah.
Am I being really thick? Yeah. And I know this is maybe going into spoiler territory. Yeah. Apologies if it is. So we have a hunted... we have a hunter. They're not as kind of like flamboyant as they are in the Arnie version. They're just kind of like
tech pros.
Yeah. And they just wear masks. And then there's one point where one gets unmasked. And it felt like it was meant to be like, holy fuck, it's that guy?
Yeah.
And I'm like, Jesus? I don't know who that guy is. I don't know. I mean, and maybe it's me. Is he like a Hollywood legend, like an action man or something? Because I don't know who this guy is. And then there's a revelation of who his character is within the movie. And I'm like, oh, it just feels like a missed opportunity that you could have done a bit of stunt casting there. I think.
It would have been like tailor-made for somebody like, I don't know, like Wallace Shawn.
I don't know. I mean, did you not? You know the sequence I'm talking about?
I don't know what you're talking about. And it is sort of like, oh, it's him. And you're like, who? Who are you on about?
I don't know who this guy is.
No. And that sort of is, like I said to Joe, the Archbert, before going into this, I was sort of like, if I have a feeling like Edgar Wright is going to do some big cameos, like pull the mask off and it'll be like Chris Evans.
Yeah.
So like that sort of shit. And thankfully he didn't.
But I think for that sequence, that would have worked.
Yeah. I don't know. Would it have worked if it was like, it's Michael Cera?
Or Tom Cruise? Because I know apparently Tom Cruise was giving Glen Powell some advice for the kind of the running and stuff, kind of just showing him kind of the tips.
Hey, I heard you're making a movie about running.
Hey, Oscar winning.
Yeah.
Honorary Oscar for Tom, but well deserved, Tom.
100%. But who gets that Oscar next year? Who does the best stunt?
It's Lee Pace, by the way.
Yes.
Lee Pace, who I don't know. Looking through his...
He plays Ronan in The Guardians.
And he's in Bodies.
Yeah, he's the vet.
Yeah.
When they're like, no, he's a veterinarian.
But I was just like, who? I just think... I know we talk about... We always complain about films putting in cameos for cameo's sake or stunt casting. There is a scene that I think could have done with a bit of stunt casting. You were saying Chris Evans. I actually would love to see that because it would be Chris Evans also being a bad guy. And I happen to love Chris Evans. And by the way, we're not talking about the one that used to do Virgin Radio Show.
The one who used to do Billy Pepper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, Lee Pace is one of those guys that is sort of has his own fan base. He was in Pushing Daisies and stuff, and Halt and Catch Fire. But it is one of those ones that's sort of just like, okay, like, did you expect us to be like, ladies and gentlemen, Lee Pace?
Yeah, we've all the stars, as you often say. And yeah, it was. I just find that I was genuinely disappointed, but I know I keep saying that. I think I need to give it another viewing. And it's not that it didn't work or not that it didn't click or anything like that. It's just maybe a sense of like, did I go in with too high expectations and expecting something, which it did. It got something technically as well done. I still think Baby Driver is a better film than this, and Baby Driver's more fun. But, and I guess you have kind of a couple of problematic cast members with Baby Driver. That you've got a kind of a couple issues there, but I still think there's that sequence, like the sequence where he's listening to the music.
Yes,
and it's all edited, and I know that's from Edgar Wright from a music video he did years earlier, because that's kind of, was that his kind of start within the industry, kind of making music videos? I know he did it
was the Fistful of Fingers. Then Sean McBeth did start doing. He did Royal Mints,
yes,
with Noel Fielding,
and he did the likes of Charlotte Hatherley's Bastardo,
yes,
which has a cameo, unsurprisingly, by David Williams.
But it was in Spaced.
Yes, a wonderful character in Spaced. But I edit, like, and I was kind of watching this as kind of, I think I said this in the TV show, it's like, I would love to see Edgar Wright do like a Mission Impossible or a James Bond movie, but James Bond would of course have to be played by Nick Frost. The role hasn't been cast yet.
He would be a good money penny.
He would make a good money penny. But I'm like, I see that now, where maybe a couple of years ago it's like, oh, Edgar Wright doing, you know, like a big action movie franchise. No, I mean, and I know I'm saying that as in going, oh, I love Hot Fuzz, and Hot Fuzz is like, it's as good an action movie as you're going to get. And it's, you know, the references and stuff that he's sending up, but it's like, yeah, but he kind of does the riffy stuff, the kind of, not parody, but the kind of schmart, as Mark Kermode would say. But it's like, oh, technically, it's like, yeah, I actually would like to just see him do a Bond movie or just an out-and-out action movie.
I think if something like that, where he is based in a set world, I think Ant-Man would have been a good, his idea for Ant-Man, because it was him and Joe Cornish working on it, based in the 60s sort of spy thing, but based in a world that has specific rules, I think he would thrive in, because he can show more of his style and be something, you know, completely different from what you usually see in those worlds.
Well, I think that was the problem.
Yeah.
That time, it's like the MCU didn't want that. I think now, if you were doing that, you could get away with that.
Yeah, I think they sort of leaned more heavily, and like they let Gunn do what he wanted, they let Taika Waititi do what he wanted, and they sort of tried it with a couple of people, and it didn't really work out. I think also Edgar Wright knows his worth, and you know, if he's brought into something like DC, I think now working under James Gunn, he would probably get more freedom than he would have if he worked in like with the Cavill Superman and shit like that.
And also realize we've got this far. Can we show some love to Coleman Domingo?
I say Coleman Domingo earlier on.
Did you?
Oh, right.
Okay, that's all right then. That's why maybe I just clearly wasn't listening.
Don't worry about it. I was like, that's a sexy man himself.
I just loved his kind of, because in the original version, well, in the 80s version, it's Killian. Sorry, is Killian. Is Killian? Killian, sorry. In the 80s, Killian is he's the host. And he's the producer. He's everything in front of the show. But here you have Josh Brolin. He's the slime ball behind the scenes. But then you have Coleman Domingo as the kind of front man. It's kind of like the Stanley Tucci kind of in the Hunger Games.
Well, I said this to every time we seen the trailer in front of anything, I would turn to Joe if Joe was with me and be like, oh, fucking, they're making Chirac.
But I do love Coleman Domingo.
Sure.
And yeah, I love the fact, like here, like maybe it's just the world that we are in right now. Without bringing it down, doom and gloom. We think of like The Long Walk, The Last Walk,
The Long Walk.
The Long Walk. The Long Walk, Jim. The Long Walk, Jim. And I talked about that. I don't know if I talked about it in the podcast, but talked about it in the TV show. I watched that film, and it was just, I'd heard the news that Robert Redford had died, and that this was going into screening. The world that we're living, everything that kind of Trump, and the kind of the orange Mussolini at the White House. And I was,
That's being nice.
this is just like too close to what this world. And you look at kind of here now, this is the same, because you still got the kind of media, the angle and the slants and kind of all the stuff about fake news, and because there's deep fakes in there as well. We'll have that, and that's, as I said, is in the original 80s version as well. But it's just some of the stuff with the crowds. You're just like, it's like the world we live in right now, which is depressing. I want escapism. That's maybe we're going to go see Wicked for good.
Like, would it have been better if it was based in like 2055?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Whereas like the world is a little bit more to it. Like Edgar Wright doesn't really have that style of like creating worlds, like a futuristic world. He is very like a modern day director. But would it have had to been like a really heightened, like a, I think what he wanted, but it didn't really achieve, like a RoboCop-esque satire.
Yeah.
You needed it to go higher because, like you say, it just felt like this could happen. It's a Channel 4 TV show, apart from
it's what's going to happen in the next season of The Traitors.
Exactly, yeah. Like it's like, they instead of just getting, I've always been a chaser. If they get fucking killed instead of just having to leave, and Alan Carr being on a fucking chat show being like, I said, now it's me.
Could you imagine Alan Carr as the hunter?
Fucking, he's so good. He just laughs in your face. I hear Alan Carr as the Joker.
Make it happen.
Hold on, let me get on Alan Carr.
Make it happen, guys. But yeah. I don't know, do you think have we talked enough? I think we're both mixed about this.
I think we're both disappointed, but would be happy enough to watch it again.
Do you think you need to give it in the same way we talked about with the Fantastic Four? Do you think on a second viewing you're going to like this more?
I don't think I'll like it more, but I don't hate it enough to be like, I'll never fucking watch that again. It's one of those ones where it's like, if it's on Netflix and say Heidi hasn't ever watched it and she's like, I like Glen Powell, can we watch this? I'd be like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, because my lovely wife wants to watch it. She just didn't go. She couldn't go see it last night because she had to babysit Ted, and she was like, "You're going to see Glen Powell without me?" And you're like, yeah.
She's like, I'm going to stay home and watch Chad Powers.
She's going to watch. No, she just watched Twisters. That one scene in Twisters over and over again and repeat. Wee Wah, and that other film he did with Sydney Sweeney. Anyone but you. Wee Wah. Yes. So yeah, I quite like Glen Powell as a leading man. I mean, I know he has done other films where he is the leading man, but I'm like, I still continue to go. I would like to see him in kind of like and I don't want to be that person. I'd like to see him in I want to see him be Batman. That's it. I think he's kind of got a chin for Batman. I think maybe he's a bit short, or no, he's quite tall. I'm not quite sure.
Green Arrow?
Yeah, maybe there's a Green Arrow.
Not quite Batman. Although Lee Pace as Batman wouldn't be bad.
Yeah, because when you take off the mask, you'll be like, who?
Nobody cared who I was to put on a mask. Nobody cared what I was awfully.
Yeah, okay. So that's out in cinemas now. I think we're going to wrap up this week's pod, and we're going to carry on talking about Edgar Wright, because on the next episode, we're going to do a little bit of an Edgar Wright retrospective, because we always enjoy those pods when we kind of do it, because we did it before with the likes of Kevin Smith, when we talked about some of our favourite films and what we love about them as a filmmaker. So I think we'll talk about that. So you've that to look forward to. If you've enjoyed this pod, be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasting fix. Be sure to check out episodes of the TV show. Their latest episode is always available on our website. And other episodes, we have the older back catalogue before it went all sexy new 4K, are available on our YouTube page, and the newer episodes are available on NVTV Belfast's YouTube page. We've just had our film festival over and done with. Thank you for anyone who's listening who came to any of our events. Thanks again to the lovely Shauna McDonald for coming over, and of course our team, including your lovely self, Adam. And we're not done yet. We have our festivals quiz on the 10th of December. It's not really horror movies. It's going to be Christmassy themed. We're going to be in Christmas jumpers. The lovely Joanne Alexander is going to be there. Hopefully not dressed as Elvira so I can look at her and talk to her. But if, Joanne, if you're listening, if you want to show up as Elvira, I'll not be complaining.
Do you want idea? What if you do Festivus and you dress up as Jerry Stiller? Just putting it out there.
You put it out there. Joanne, if you're listening. And Adam, thank you very much for this week's pod.
Thank you.
And of course, Out of Rim Rambling, you have some pods. You kind of said you haven't probably announced them yet, but you've got some good guests coming up.
We've got some guests coming up on the show that are from the Star Wars movies and television shows. I can't really say too much, but they're very exciting.
Okay, so you've got that to look forward to. So on that note, that's all from me. I'll be back next week with another episode, but for now, until then, goodbye.
Bye-bye.